Let's talk about Ukraine's International Legion then with John Spencer, who's Chair of Urban Warfare Studies with the Madison Policy Forum. He joins us from Colorado Springs in the US. Welcome to DW. How common is it for foreign fighters to join a war in another country?
I think we've seen that over the last 10, 20 years. That's pretty common, whether it was in the Middle East, Syria, many other places. I think it's normal, but I think this is a little different because of the Ukrainians, what they've shown the world, their ability to fight. So I think that call to arms is really impacting people around the world.
And how does this work in practice when you get a load of volunteers who are businessmen or financial consultants turn up and say, yes, I want to fight for your cause? How are they organised? Is it by language, by country? Do they just give them a gun and say, that way?
So each situation is different. You can imagine the most ideal situation is you'd understand that person's experience itself, and then partner them with either a situation which their skills will work, or with a military, or like in this case, a territorial defense, somebody with a little more experience, and then form small groups. Combat isn't about just giving somebody a gun and say, go for it. Combat is a group experience, actually.
And what happens when they get killed? You have this person who turns up from a foreign country, picks up a gun, and, the worst happens. Who takes responsibility for that? Does he get repatriated? Does he not? What happens?
Yeah, that's a tough question that's not my expertise, and it's very contextual. Whether when they are included into a fighting force, and then what are the protocols for that? Ukraine's got a lot of issues right now, so I don't think they've thought through, as in a government, a military, or even a volunteer force, what that looks like. It's a great question. And you've seen in some places like Mariupol, they don't even have time to bury the dead because that's how bad the fighting has gotten.
And is someone who's decided to give it a go to be relied on to fight with the same commitment in a war as people who are defending their homeland?
That's a good question. I think so, right? So people fight for a cause, and clearly, like the guest you just had on, felt something in himself to fight. Now you have to help people like that, or even people within Ukraine, know what they're doing, right? To fight and not just die. They have to get a little bit of sense of how to stay safe and still fight. But people fight for a cause within themselves. That's even the most trained soldiers, my soldiers, is you have to help them ensure they have that cause. And that's what's going to help when the heat of battle happens.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. John Spencer from the Madison Policy Forum.
Thank you.